Good afternoon. It's Shamila Ramjawan coming to you from the Red Corner Chat this afternoon. I have Judy Umraw, who summited Mount Kilimanjaro in 2019 using, well, she was actually wearing a sari, and she did that for gender-based violence. A professional dancer and dance sport essay coach, a global motivational speaker, and a great humanitarian. Hi, Judy. How are you doing today?
Hi, Shamila. It's so great to be on your Red Corner Chat. Thank you. It's such an honor. And you know what? I must salute you for all the lovely work that you are doing, inspiring everybody, and, really being out there and giving everybody, an opportunity and also impacting other women in your life.
Thank you, Judy. I'm trying my best. Tell me a little bit about Judy Umraw.
Okay, I'm just an ordinary woman trying to have an extraordinary existence in life. Basically, I have lots of, passions, goals that I'm still trying to achieve. And I just try to do the best that I can. And I try to be the best version of myself as well.
That's
I
wonderful.
currently reside in Maritzburg as well.
Okay, so you're in the Sleepy Hollow?
Yes, the Sleepy Hollow where all the giants are awake. That's what I always say to people.
Absolutely, and we're all the giants come from, because I'm from Pietermaritzburg as well.
Yes, I've so heard that, and I'm just so wanting to, meet up with you and share some experiences from the Sleepy Hollow with you.
Absolutely, yes, we got that coffee date coming very soon. Judy, Mount Kilimanjaro, do you maybe want to take me through that journey, and why did you actually do that?
Okay, for me, Mount Kilimanjaro had come, had fell on my lap as a purpose. It was on my bucket list many years ago. But, when you have so much to do and, you actually in life, there's so much to actually achieve and the hurdles and stuff like that. You never actually find the time to tick off the stuff on your bucket list. But this was an opportunity that I got when, people, especially a group of women, were deciding that, gender-based violence and had to be, the awareness had to be there. And so we decided to form a group called the Mzansi Warriors. And a group of ladies decided that here we will take this up and do it for gender-based violence, bring awareness, and also to raise funds for other charities. So this is where it all initiated, and then my journey actually started to do this expedition with the heartfelt passion of gender-based violence.
What have you learned from that expedition?
Well, I've learned so much. I tell you, I am still processing. That journey happened like a year from now. On the 27th of September this year will be 1 year. And I'm still processing. I am still learning from it. I've learned so much. The one greatest thing that I've learned, Shamila, is that we take so much in life for granted. And being on that mountain, lots of people say they actually climbed the mountain to conquer that mountain. But I never actually went there to conquer that mountain. I went with a purpose. I went with the purpose to learn from that mountain. And, I've learned so much on that mountain that it also gave me that perspective of life. I was able to introspect and find things deep within myself that came out on that mountain. So I actually didn't conquer that mountain. I fell in love with that mountain. And in the same token, I fell in love with myself. And, the journey.
Carry on.
Sorry, and that journey was, I think everybody's journey is different. And for me, that journey was, about a lot of introspection, And although there was a lot of awareness that I brought about with gender-based violence, before the climb, during the climb, and post-climb, I also felt like, other people climb that mountain for a specific reason. And it's also, it brings out so much more from within yourself.
So climbing the mountain, you obviously had lots of emotions, lots of thoughts during the climb. Do you maybe want to share some of those experiences with me?
Yeah, sure. Climbing that mountain actually was all about experiences that was physical, emotional, and spiritual. And I think spirituality was the biggest part for me. Shamila, during the year of training, it wasn't very simple. The training was very, hardcore. We had to be very diligent. We had to be very, determined and, focused in what we were doing. And I think, post-climbing was just as important, because from there we could actually ascertain our capabilities. That was our physical capabilities. But on that mountain, all the emotions were also tested. We were away from family. We were alone most of the time. We had lots of hurdles. We were not in our comfort zones. Everything was, each day was a new day. Each experience was a new experience. Some of it very good, some of it very bad. But, we had to live that moment. And obviously, that triggers different emotions in a person. So, that can also show that, your emotional well-being at that time, and also before and after you climb the mountain. Because my emotional, has changed from pre-mountain climbing to while I was there and post climbing that mountain. I feel I'm emotionally more stronger. I'm more resilient, and I can actually, and more patient as well. So yes, I think pre, during, and post, it had a lot of effects on my emotions. There were times when we cried, and when I said we the girls and I, we would cry and share intimate moments, because we lived in a tent together, and we would laugh. So, all the emotions were there.
Judy, when people do the comrades, for example, it's like a bug that gets them and they want to do more and more and more. You summiting Mount Kilimanjaro, will you do it again if you have the opportunity?
Definitely, I will do it again. But I think, as you said, people that do the comrades, it becomes I would say it becomes their lifestyle, because they always training, they eat properly, they, looking forward to many races in between. And here again, for me, the training was a great part of this expedition. And, when I'm not training or I'm not walking in nature, I actually have withdrawal symptoms. So I am still looking forward to maybe climbing maybe another mountain, because I think each mountain has its own character, its own personality, inverted commas. It's more, it will give you something else from another mountain. And obviously, as I said, I don't go to conquer the mountains. I go, I want to go and experience it and conquer some of the stuff that I need to conquer in myself. So, one of the things that I conquered during, Mount Kilimanjaro was my fears. I embraced certain fears, and that was also a very good thing. So I think different mountains would give you different, successes, different outcomes.
So I know a lot of people that climb mountains, and they actually go on huge fundraising drives, because I believe it's quite expensive. Do you want to take us through that? Did you get a sponsor?
Actually, unfortunately, because we were doing it for charity, and the charities that we were doing it for were, early education development for for children. And, we could not go out there for basically sponsors for ourselves. We were looking for sponsors for our charities. So here we had to fund ourselves, and the extra monies that we had, we put into our charity. So it was not, it's basically, I had saved some of my, money to do this as a purpose. So it was well spent.
Well done. Well, that's quite an achievement. I also wanted to do Mount Kilimanjaro, but because of my asthma condition, my kids said, no way, you're not doing that, Mom. So well done to you. It's quite a trek, I must say.
But Shamila, having said that, you said, we do have physical capabilities as well. And I find that, with me, it also is mind over matter, because 2 weeks, and lots of people don't know this, I haven't made it, public. So I'm making it public on your chat corner today. 2 weeks prior to my climb, I was hospitalized. And I was hospitalized with bronchial pneumonia. And my specialist said to me, there's no ways you're going to climb that mountain with your condition. And I actually picked up the pneumonia after I had my various, vaccinations. And I think my immune system was so low. And on training, because we used to train at 3 in the morning, and we used to go to the Drakensberg, and it was freezing there during winter, and I picked up the pneumonia. And, I moved this whole thing. The mindset had been really moved to the limits, I would say, to say, I've come to the point where I have a purpose, and I am going to try my level best, even if I don't summit, but I'm going to try and go as far as I can. So that was basically it. So a lot of people say they won't do it because of physical or medical, reasons. But I always say, do it as far as you can. You don't have to summit. Yes, all the glories are in summiting. It's an achievement. But I also feel, just the journey itself is an achievement.
Oh my God, Judy, what are you doing to me now? Okay, well, that's going to be a thought. It's on my bucket list. So currently you moved out of corporate. Do you maybe want to take me through what you're currently doing, and just tell me about the whole transition from corporate to where you are now, and how you're feeling the change? Is it stimulating? Is it something that you longed for? Will you ever go back to corporate? So just take me through that.
Okay, yes, I studied, consumer food sciences, and I was confined to food laboratories. And then I found that, I just could not breathe. It was claustrophobic for me. And me being a people's person, I wanted to be out there. So I studied marketing, and I got into a very, very male-dominated career, or industry. And there I found that it tested my patience as a woman. It tested my resilience. It also pushed me to limits to, be successful and achieve. And yes, I, got into management position. I traveled the whole of South Africa in all the back roads, and I enjoyed, seeing most of South Africa and the neighboring countries. But then, I had a rude awakening, and, I realized that, my purpose wasn't only of monetary gain. I had to live my true purpose. And my true purpose was to be out there and help people, assist in whichever way I can, and also be passionate about what I'm doing. You know, there's no sense doing something when, you know, you're not your true being. And I always believe that, you know, to be your real self, you must do your, you know, your true calling. And my calling was somewhat to empower, to motivate, to inspire. So I moved out from the corporate arena with lots of raised eyebrows and, you know, people saying to me that, you know what, it's going to destroy you, and, you know, where are you heading? But you know what, I jumped into the deep end, and I found, because of my passion and my faith in myself, I was able to, you know, be successful. And going into the, you know, a career of entertainment is not an easy career, because, you know, there's a lot of hurdles as a woman. There's lots of things that, you know, people don't find you as, you know, I would say, like, you know, your identity as a woman is not, you know, you're not professional enough. And, you know, so I had to actually struggle and battle through it, but I came all right. I found that this industry was for me, because suddenly the doors had opened, avenues had opened up for me. I was now performing in an international platform with international artists. And so, you know, you know, I always feel, don't listen to what others have to say. Always look within yourself. That fire that's whispering inside you wants to come out, and, you know, let it come out, and try it. You know, if it's always nice to try something and fail. And if you fail, so be it, move on. And yeah, so then I found that, you know, I don't think I'll get back into the corporate arena, because I find this, for me, what I'm doing is not monetary measured. It's passion driven.
Wonderful. So tell me more about Judy Umraw School of Dance and the different genres of dance. I know you specialize in Oriental. Me, for one, at some point, I am definitely going to do belly dancing, because it's something on my bucket list. So do you want to maybe take us through that?
Okay, when I founded Judy Umraw School of Dance, it was, you know, something, as I said, was a childhood dream of mine, because I always loved to dance. I was always performing outside, you know, shows outside in my school career. I was always performing, or, you know, and I found that that actually lit myself inside. And, you know, my soul would be so enlightened and happy when I danced. So I studied Oriental dance, and my mentor was Dr. Fahmy, who's from Egypt, and he has his PhD in belly dance. And, you know, I found that this dance was extraordinary. It was sensual. It just brought out the inner goddess in me. And even the ladies that I teach, they find that their self-confidence is raised. They find that they have a better self-esteem. They have no inhibitions about their bodies. So, you know, it has so much of, you know, good, proactive, you know, pros, and there's hardly any cons to it, because you're going to have, you know, you have a full body workout. And I think that workout is complete, because it's not only for your body, it's also for your mind and soul. And that's why, you know, I also do workshops with it, and I call it Soul Fusion, where I bring in the body, mind, and soul when you're dancing. So yes, it's actually quite a good thing to actually, I would say all women must experience it, so that they can also appreciate themselves and their bodies.
So are you going to give me some lessons?
Definitely. You know, when I'm, you know, just waiting for the lockdown to be, you know, and the COVID-19 to be all relieved, and so that we can all go back and do our things. And then, yes, why not? We should. That's a date.
Is it easy to learn, though?
Well, you know what? I always say, if you can walk, you can dance.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a bash. When we meet, I'm gonna come for a lesson and let's see how it goes. That's gonna be really interesting. What other pastime
Yes, well, you know,
activities? Yes, sorry.
sorry, Shamila, as I was saying, you know, people ridicule the art form of belly dance. And that makes, it actually saddens me, because it is an art form that is very unique, and it's been there for centuries. Actually, it has come from, you know, the Devadasi dancing, because whilst I was studying and researching, I found that lots of the moves come from, you know, Devadasi dancing, which was done in temples. And lots of them are named, you know, have Sanskrit names, like the Krishna and the Maya, which is all, you know, coming from Hinduism.
Do you maybe want to show me one or two moves? I know you don't have the gear on
Okay.
now.
Well, it just reminds me of, you know, when I was interviewed on Sunrise on ETV, and the presenter asked me all of a sudden to show her some moves. So I had to just get up with no music or anything and just, you know, move my body. And it was quite nice, because then she also joined me as well. So maybe perhaps you want to join me?
Oh gosh, no, I'm useless at this. I will make a laughing stock of myself right now. I'd rather do that lesson first and then we can maybe do something for video.
No, I think dancing is very, you know, it's something that it's within us, and anybody can actually do it. You know, they say anybody can dance.
Okay, do you want to show us a move or two?
Oh, okay. So if I stand, I don't think I'm going to be able to be focused on the camera, but let's try. Okay, so
Yes, we can. If you just go back a little bit.
Okay, all right. So I don't have my jinglies. Normally we have a jingly belt, which is a
Yeah.
scarf or a book. But if I like just show you, this is called, if you lift your hip up and down and pull, it's called a hip circle. Can you see that?
Yes.
And then if I push, and that's called a hip thrust. And that is also called a double hip thrust. Okay, and that's an undulation. You can't see very well.
I can see
Can you
it.
see
I
that?
can see it. Yes.
That's an undulation. And you know, Shamila, these moves have benefits for our body. Like the undulation helps you for digestion, it helps clear out toxins. So every move that you do has some benefits as well. So it's not only about entertaining and performing, it also has health benefits as well.
That's wonderful. Oh gosh, I'm so keen to learn now. You know, seeing those moves, and I'm sure I can do that. I'm gonna try.
You know, you can even sit and do it, like wrist movements, you know, and this is very good for arthritis. You know, women normally suffer with hand arthritis.
I'm
So it's
useless.
actually good for arthritis as well. You'll get it. You will get it.
You're gonna do some videos and send me some videos so I can practice before I see you. I need to know one or two moves before I even see you.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to do that.
Because everyone's doing all these fancy TikTok videos and whatever. And I said to Daksha, we need to do a TikTok video just dancing. And she says, oh, Mom, come on now. Come on, don't start because it's addictive.
It is addictive, and I think that will be so fun. And, you know, especially if you're bonding with your daughter, you know, I have lots of mums and daughters in my classes, and they find that this is the time for them to come and bond while they dance. So it's actually quite nice. It sounds fun. I think you should do it.
Definitely, I'm going to do it. Just talking about bonding and classes, Judy, how has COVID affected you, your business, your dance school? You know, just take me through the lockdown period.
Okay, you know, as you know, the pandemic hit us so unaware. And, you know, I had to be resilient enough to change a lot of things. I was doing Zoom classes, and it, you know, affected me in a way where, you know, when as a teacher, you know, our passion is to be one-on-one with my students, and the touch, the feel, that kind of environment. But you know, with the COVID-19, we could not do these things, and you know, we had to look for other means to do it. So we were doing Zoom classes, and yes, it did affect. And it's not only my business, you know, it's affected so many people's businesses, livelihoods, their lives, and you know, with it came a lot of you know, poverty, and you know, it's actually quite a sad time that we actually going through at the moment.
Absolutely, and I think
but we have to be positive and, you know, look for positive outlook in life.
Yes, and look into dance, because we can have a powerful mind and just get a bit stimulated, I think. Judy, Raw and Real, what is that all about, your new project?
Okay, actually, Raw and Real was shelved. It was a 2 year, 2 years ago. I wanted to bring it out, but it was shelved because of the Mount Kilimanjaro expedition and my other, you know, I was doing my global speaking internationally. So I had to shelve it for the time being. And during the lockdown, I found it was apt, and it was actually time enough to work on it. And yes, so it was born during the pandemic. And so a lot of people have come up with brilliant ideas during this pandemic, because, you know what, they've had time to reset, readjust, refocus. So I think, you know, the pandemic, as much as it's a bad thing, it's also brought a lot of good things to people, you know, good changes, change of mindsets, you know, looking forward to brighter futures and entrepreneurial skills. So that's actually quite good. So Raw and Real stemmed from all that. And it's basically, you know, raw conversations, like what you're doing, something like what you're doing, but more out there on happenings, places, people, and basically real, you know, happenings, experiences. So I'm deciding to go out there after the lockdown and, you know, do videos on different foods, different occasions, different events, you know, that kind of thing.
Wonderful. Just if it's your passion, just go for it. The world is your oyster.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Yes, I also believe that, you know what, there's no limitations in your creativity as well.
Absolutely. What message would you like to impart to the women out there in South Africa during this Women's Month? We have the last few days left. Women's Month women should not be recognized just on a Women's Month, but, you know, going forward, we all should be recognized on a daily basis and taken for granted, because we are special species. What would be your message out there?
Definitely, I concur with everything that you've said. And, you know, we have the pandemic, which is so invisible at the moment. But, you know, if you look at gender-based violence, it's so visible. And the irony is that, you know, women, when they get out of their houses, they're faced with so many, you know, things, fears to being out of their homes, of being attacked, raped. And yet, the irony is also that, you know what, they're also afraid to enter their homes because, you know, they're faced with the same kind of attacks and brutality in their own homes. So, you know, my message to women is, you know, always be that goddess, always be that warrior. And sometimes, yes, you know, we will have our down days. But at the end of the day, you know, live your life to the fullest. Stand up for your rights. And also try to make some change, be that change, a catalyst in change. Because at the end of the day, you know, we walk this earth on a temporary basis. Nothing on this earth is permanent. And the COVID-19 has taught us that nothing is permanent. And from that, the only thing that we can do is do the best and be the best version of ourselves.
I love that. Closing words, be the change. Judy Umraw, thank you so much for coming on board and chatting to me tonight or this evening. I wish you everything of the best going forward. Follow your dreams, follow your passion, and carry on doing what you're doing. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Shamila, and thank you so much. It was such an honor to be on your Red Corner chat. And hopefully, we get to meet as soon as possible. And I wish you all the best in what you're doing. And may you always succeed in leaps and bounds. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.